Let's talk about something I know you've experienced. You sit down to get something done, like a task you've been putting off. You know it matters, you know you should be able to do it, but instead you stare at it, you scroll on your phone, you panic clean the kitchen, you freeze, and somewhere in the back of your mind a voice kicks in. Why can't I just do the thing? Why am I like this? You don't want to be like this. You've probably tried all the usual tricks, all the schedules and timers and calendars and journals, even accountability buddies, and inevitably self-criticism, hoping that the guilt or pressure will help you get off your ass. But it just keeps happening every single day, with maybe one day a month where you power through and get it done and crash right after. Because the more you push, the worse it gets. I want to offer you a completely different way to look at motivation. Not as a personal flaw or a discipline problem, but a system, one you can understand and then rebuild. So most of us were never taught what motivation actually is. We think it's supposed to come from sheer willpower, or worse, from fear and pressure. But when motivation collapses, it's rarely because you don't care enough. It's usually because one or more of these three pieces are missing: desire, meaning, and urgency. Desire is the internal spark, the want. Not I should do this, but I want to do this. When your day is full of things you're only doing out of obligation, that spark dies. It's snuffed out. Meaning is the why it matters. If the task doesn't connect to anything important, or you're doing it for someone else, even unknowingly, it's really hard to sustain effort even if you start strong. And lastly is agency, which is your choice, capability, and ownership. When things feel forced or dictated by external pressure, your brain goes into a resistant shutdown. And here's the kicker: pressure erodes all three. The more you tell yourself just do it, the more your internal ecosystem shrivels up. The more you fear failure or judgment, your agency starts to die. Tasks lose meaning, desire shrinks, and you're left frozen, confused, and ashamed. You're not broken, you're just trying to operate without fuel. So what actually works? I call this the motivation equation. Desire plus agency plus meaning equals sustainable motivation. So let's walk through it with a real-world example. Say you've been trying to write a big project proposal. You keep telling yourself it's urgent, you block off time on your calendar, but every time you sit down to work on it, you scroll instead. So let's plug it into the equation. Do you actually want this? Do you care about it, or do you feel like it's something you have to do? Could you connect it to a bigger want? Maybe the impact it will have or the relief of having it done? And why does this matter to you? Can you locate a personal value here? Not just doing it because someone expects it, but because it aligns with who you want to be? And do you feel capable and in control? Do you think you can complete this project in a way that feels good and authentic? Do you have the time, tools, and support that you need? Can you shift from I have to do this all right now to I'm allowed to take one tiny step to get me started? When even one of these components is missing, motivation dries up. When all three are supported, you move more naturally without fight. I want to offer a little bit more context here though, and I say the same thing to my clients. The intrinsic North Star is kind of like a database of contexts, resource, and methods tying into one path to dig into why executive dysfunction exists and how we can begin to walk out of it, and then the steps that we can take to begin to unroot it. But it works differently in different people, both the problem itself and the method to heal it. So a method like this in this video is truly just a teeny tiny piece of the puzzle. So please don't get discouraged if you try this and it's still not enough to pull you free. It's meant to work in accordance with the foundation you're building, which for the record, you can start building with all of the free content and valuable insight I have on my channel. That's what it's here for. But know that this one piece can't stand on its own if your foundation goes untended. That's not to say it can't help in small doses though, which is why you can absolutely employ this and practice it. But know that it's not a one and done exercise. And this doesn't heal executive dysfunction overnight. If this is resonating and you want help applying it to your own life, then I made a free resource that might help you. It's called the Self-Discovery Workbook. It digs into what you want so you can start seeing the gaps in how you're approaching this and in your own ambition. You can grab it with the link below or just comment workbook and I'll send it to you directly. So let's talk about how you can use this equation in real life without needing to overhaul everything. Here's some practical questions to ask the next time you're stuck. For desire, what would make this task 10% more appealing, intrinsically speaking, or even extrinsically? Can I change the environment, add music paired with something comforting, or journal about it before starting to remember why I'm doing this? For meaning, why does this matter to me, not just to others? What long-term goal or core values is this serving? doing? And for agency, how could I make this feel more doable? What's the smallest next step I could take that would still count? The goal isn't to feel excited about everything and to fake it till you make it. It's just to build enough internal clarity, choice, and permission to begin. It may not seem like a lot, but it's more progress than you've made so far. If this gave you a new lens on motivation and you're realizing how deep these patterns of self-sabotaging behavior go and how they relate to executive dysfunction, this is the exact kind of work I do with my clients. In my program, we don't just fix your calendar or optimize your schedule. We rebuild the internal architecture of your motivation so you can continue moving through your ambitions from a place of self-trust, not guilt or shame. If that sounds like something you've been searching for, I would love to meet you. You can book a free discovery call at the link below, and we'll talk about where exactly you are, where you want to go, and if my program is the right fit for you. You're not a failure. You just need a system that honors your brain. You deserve that. And as always, stay in this corner of the internet as long as you need.